The Raiders now have their new offensive coordinator. Does that mean that they're going to be aggressive and trade up to that number 1 overall spot to get the quarterback of their future? We've got a top 10 mock draft that we're going to break down on today's video here on the A to Z Film Room. Ryan, you had the honors. We did top 10 picks. You projected. Here's how you think things could shape out in April if things got a little bit crazy. A trade up. It's up here on the screen. You're projecting a possible move here where the Las Vegas Raiders move up to number 1, Titans move back to 6. I got to hear the thought process here.
I mean, we literally heard from the Titans side that they're going to go for best player available and not forced a quarterback, right? They're going for the generational football player potentially. And for me, Joe, I think that there's a couple potential generational-esque players at the top that are not a quarterback. So in this conversation, yes, I think that they are a trade back partner. The question is, New York Giants, Las Vegas Raiders, who is going to be that team that is going to pull the trigger that wants to go all the way up to number 1?
Let's discuss this specifically, though. Cam Ward being a part of the Chip Kelly offense. Now, Chip signing up for whatever reason, it's not the most exciting of the options that were out there for him, but he gets to build this in his mold. One could maybe think, could the Raiders wait until the second round and take Will Howard and just reunite with him? But what does Cam Ward bring to this type of an offense? It's going to be different from what it was at Ohio State, but knowing the big arm that he has, the improvisational skills, how do you see this lining up if it happened?
I mean, it was kind of funny, right? I mean, if you think back just the last offseason, Cam Ward was in the conversation for the Ohio State potential quarterback transfer at that point, and there was a little bit of a
that's next level thinking there to bring that up.
Yeah, a little between Miami and Ohio State. There was a little bit of a bidding war. Obviously, he ends up playing for Miami, but there was a possibility that he could have been a Buckeye. I just like the possibility here, Joe. Pete Carroll, last time Pete Carroll had a NFL head coaching job with the Seattle Seahawks, he found his franchise quarterback very early on, obviously in his tenure, finding Russell Wilson, looking for that guy now. Chip Kelly, I think that it would be a good marriage between working within structure, but also bringing that out of structure ability that Cam Ward brings. And yes, it's a little bit of a gamble. He's a gunslinger. It's a boomer bust prospect in a lot of ways. But ultimately, the Las Vegas Raiders, the Raiders franchise in general, has not been good in a big amount of time now at this point. So getting a gunslinger, a guy that can elevate the players around him, if Cam Ward hits, I think he has Pro Bowl upside. There's some gamble there, but I think that the Raiders are a franchise right now that is in desperate need of taking a little bit of a chance.
Cam's training partner, Cam Ward, you have, I'm talking about Shedeur Sanders, the Colorado quarterback who is been in the mix for that first overall pick. You have him slotted 3rd overall to the Giants. I feel like this is just like a little bit of wishful thinking for Giants fans, knowing that they desperately need a quarterback. This would be a dream scenario where the Browns say, we're good, we're stepping back. We don't want to add a quarterback to the mix of this roster mess. We're just going to go with the best player available, which is Abdul Carter. We've discussed on this channel, and we've discussed plenty of times before that he is a crazy good athlete. But Shedeur Sanders ending up being a New York Giant. Am I crazy for thinking that this might require a little bit of luck on the Giants side?
I don't think it's a little bit of luck because I think both of the top 2 picks, the Tennessee Titans and the Cleveland Browns, if Tennessee stays still at number 1 and then you have the Browns to back them up, I think there's a decent chance that at least one of those teams takes a non-quarterback in this class. So I think the Giants might be able to stick there in 3 and take the best available quarterback out of the 2. And I actually think that there's a reality that if there's no trade-up possibility from Tennessee, let's say, I think there's a reality that they might be able to stick there at 3 and take whatever quarterback they deem to be best in this draft out of both of those players. So I think there's a chance there. Shedeur brings, I think, a little bit more flair to the position they've had in the last couple of years. There's going to be a lot of immediate circus around him, but I think the Giants are another team, Joe, that what I mentioned with the Raiders, they need that right now, man. They need a little bit of glamour. They need a little bit of flash. Like they need something because it has been very boring behind center the last few years.
Now, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but the craziest move in your top 10 mock here isn't even the trade that you projected. The craziest move is the Jets ending up with Tyler Warren at 7, the tight end from Penn State. Now, he was a dynamo. He was used so creatively by Andy Kotelnicki at Penn State. He was a Wildcat quarterback. He was playing center. He was running the ball. He was throwing the ball. He was doing so many different things. But him at 7 feels just a little too rich for me. I feel like this is a guy who's more of a 15 or later pick. I've got a pretty favorable grade on him. He's my second tight end in the class. But top 7, knowing how many elite defensive players are here, am I off for thinking that this just seems a little aggressive here by the Jets if they went this direction?
It's probably aggressive a little bit because I know tight end in the top 10 feels like a luxury for some people, and I totally get that. But for me, like I don't know if there's 5 players better in this class than Tyler Warren, just in a vacuum. I think he's been that good. Joe, he's 6'6", 260 pounds. He's going to run something crazy. He's a tremendous athlete. He can win on the line of scrimmage. He can win detached from the line of scrimmage, playing out wide. He can move around. He can even run wildcat quarterback if you needed him to do that. And I look at the Jets, and when's the last time they had a difference maker at tight end, man? Like, it's been a very long time. I guess you can count Dustin Keller for a couple years if you wanted to try to make that argument, but
sure,
they just haven't had this type of athlete. And I know the future of Aaron Rodgers is kind of up in the air right now. I think having him along with Garrett Wilson is a pretty dynamic pass game weapon. And in this class where it's not incredibly deep up top, I mean, we're talking about a lot of NFL teams only have between 9 and 11 first round grades in this class. I think taking a gamble on a kid that I deem as a high-level player and a potential Pro Bowler at his position, I'll take the gamble on Tyler Warren, even if it's not a position that people necessarily think of as anything but a luxury at some points.
Folks, let us know in the comments, what do you think about all 10 of these picks? Are they crazy? Do they make perfect sense? Does your favorite team, do they get their guy? Do they get the guy that's going to right the ship? Let us know. Hit the like button and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our future content. We've got a lot of new great stuff coming. We've got so much more that we're going to be bringing you during this draft cycle, so don't miss out on it.